For today's lesson, we'll be learning about subject-verb agreement. And this is a rule that applies to the subject in a sentence and the verb in a sentence. And we're going to be focusing on sentences in the present tense. So the rule says that the subject and the verb must agree with one another. And does anyone know how they should agree? In number. So this is whether they are singular or plural. So let's look at our first example. We have the dog chases the car. And can anyone tell me what the subject of this sentence is? Dog. Okay, so there's only one dog. And what's the dog doing? What's the verb in this sentence? The dog is chasing. So chases is our verb. And as the subject is singular, the verb must also be singular. The subject and the verb are in agreement. So can anyone tell me if the subject in a sentence is singular, what should the verb be? Singular as well. Well done. To compare, let's look at the same sentence but in its plural form. So can anyone tell me what the plural form of dog is? Dog becomes dogs. Well done. And the verb chases also needs to be in its plural form. So what's that? Chase, okay? The dogs chase the car. They're both in their plural forms. So if the subject in the sentence is plural, what should the verb be? Plural as well, okay? This is subject-verb agreement in the present tense. And there's a very easy rule that we can remember in this instance. And that's that nouns and verbs form plurals in opposite ways. So here we have the singular version and the plural version. Okay, so dog in its singular form does not have an S. That means that the verb has an S. Okay, and then if we compare that with the plural version, dogs does have an S, which means that the verb doesn't have an S. Okay, so this is a good rule to remember, and you'll want to remember that when we're doing a task, which is we'll do now. So now you'll see that you've got the task in front of you on your tables, and there's two tasks, okay? So for task 1, there are 4 sentences which you'll need to change from their singular versions into their plural versions. And let's look at the first one together. The cat drinks the milk. So what's the subject of this sentence? Cat, okay? And the verb is drinks. Well done. All right, and if we remember the rule that we learned, all we have to do is swap the S from the verb to the subject. Okay, so it becomes, can anyone tell me? The cats drink the milk. Right, well, I'll give you 30 seconds to complete the rest, and when you've done, if you'd like to put your hands on your head. Great, now let's look at task 2, okay? So again, there's 4 sentences, but this time I'd like you to tell me if the subject and the verb in these 4 sentences are in their singular forms or plural forms. Okay, so again, let's look at question 1 together. Can anyone tell me if they think this sentence is singular or plural? Right, so an easy way to do this, if we look at the subject, which is tigers, the subject has an S, so this is in its plural form, which means that the verb must also be in its plural form. Okay, so it becomes, in its singular form, the tiger lives in the jungle. Great. So again, I'll give you 30 seconds to complete the rest, and when you're done, if you'd like to put your hands on your head again. Well done. Excellent. Right. So in today's class, we've learnt how subject-verb agreement applies to sentences in the present tense, but this is only one example of the rule, okay? And there's a lot of different rules. So for homework, I'd like you to research and choose another one. And next lesson, you can give a small presentation on what you've found. Brilliant, have a great day. I'll see you all later.